Hey crazy friends.
Hey guys.
You know, when you first buy an RV, it seems like a pretty simple thing, right? I mean, it's pretty much just a metal tent on wheels that you're going to pull around. But then once you get it, you start to realize this is a pretty complicated piece of machinery. And then you begin to realize there are lots of potential upgrades that you can do. Well, today we're going to talk about which ones we did and which ones made the biggest difference for our big family.
Hey guys, this is Jay and Francis from Find Your Crazy, and we are a large family of 9 traveling full-time in our RV around the United States with 6 of our kids, 2 dogs, and a turtle. And I'm going to tell you, living large in a little space can get complicated quick. And so we have tried our best to find some of the easiest, quickest, cheapest upgrades and gadgets that we can to make our life simpler and more convenient.
And so today we're going to share the top 5 that have made the biggest impact on our family, easing our way into living full-time in an RV.
Okay, so number 5 upgrade that we have found to be a lifesaver. It is a game changer if you have a bunkhouse. We have 5 kids in this bunkhouse, and so it is very important that we create space and privacy so that everybody feels like they have their own zone with their own toys, with their own stuff that they can close off, and almost like their own small room. So what we did is we took some sheets that matched the comforter set that we got. Super simple. They're very lightweight, which is key. You don't want it super heavy because then it'll really keep the heat in and it'll block everything out, and you really want it to stay airy so that there's breathability. And so we just took some thin sheets and we had our grommet maker, and what we did is we just made a curtain so that each child has their own space and their own room. This has been huge because even though we have so many children in this area, each child feels like they have their own personal space. And when you are on the road in a small 360 square foot RV, you really need a small fraction of a space that feels like your own. Our children are different ages, different stages, and developmental levels, and this has been wonderful to be able to have them have their own private little sanctuary that they can put anything they want in here and call it their own.
Alright, so our number 4 upgrade that we have done that has made the big difference is ice.
Yes.
This little ice maker. We did not have an ice maker when we started, and it was probably, of all the upgrades that we're talking about, this is probably one that we waited the longest on. I really wanted one from the beginning. Only hesitation I had was one this small going to really make a difference for a family our size, but Francis didn't want it at all. And, you know, I get that. It's a big commitment for counter space and taking up room. But we got to the beach, and it was hot. And all of a sudden, this thing looked a whole lot better. And so we actually picked this up at Home Depot. This is the Magic Chef version. I think they're all pretty much the same, but this is the one that we got because we could go get it that day at Home Depot. And so we got it, and it ended up being great for us because the dimensions fit perfectly down in this cabinet. And so it doesn't live out on our counter. It lives under the counter and right where the kids can reach it to get it. And so it's been a huge game changer for us. Just on warm days, the kids being able to get ice water or get ice for their drinks. Your RV refrigerator is not big enough to really keep a bunch of drinks in, and so we have an extra cooler, but we're always running out of ice in the cooler. And this isn't making enough for the cooler, but it makes enough for a drink.
It does, but one of the big deals was that we are a large family and we don't have one of the bigger refrigerators. We have an older RV. We bought used and paid cash for it, and so we got the tiny, teeny little RV refrigerator and even smaller Hobbit size freezer. And so when we had the ice trays and we had the ice bucket in there, for a size family of ours, we didn't have any space to put any frozen food. And that was really, really one of the big changes that we needed to make, because we were not able to have any freezer food. And for a family this size, everything is larger.
So it cost us a little bit of space under the counter, but it freed up a ton of space in the freezer, and that was so worth it. Alright, so our number 3 upgrade that has really made a huge difference for our big family is this guy right here. It's an RV Lock is the name brand, really original, right? And it's a keyless entry system, and so this has been a game changer for us with a big family. We bought our RV used, and it came with one door key, and so you can imagine trying to figure out how to pass that around, and even just when it's on your car keychain, you've already cranked up the car and the kids got to run back in to get something, or when we go somewhere and the kids are at the playground and they want to come back, what do? This has been great. Super easy to install. Did this myself, and then once you have it installed, you program in your own 4-digit code. The kids know our code, and so they're able to lock it and unlock it themselves. No key needed. It even comes with this little fob, which locks it and unlocks it. This is cute. We honestly haven't used it that much. We keep it in the car, and if the kids want to run in, I can do it from the car. But for the most part, we haven't used this a ton, but the keypad itself has been huge. It's been super nice not to have to worry about carrying those keys around, and that the kids can run back anytime they want to. We can feel like everything's secure in here, and yet the kids can get back in anytime they need to. We also felt like it was a good idea because we have 2 dogs and a turtle, as many of you know, and so while a lot of the times we take our dogs with us, there are times when we go to trails and places where the dogs just aren't welcome, and so they get to stay here at the camper. We have a pet monitoring system that shows us the temperature inside the camper and warns us if something were to happen. So if the power were to go out and it were to start to get hot in the camper, it would email my phone, text me actually, and let me know. And then I can call the park manager and say, hey, can you go open the door to our camper? We're on our way back, but we're not going to be able to get there really quick. Here's our code. And they would be able to get in and rescue the dogs from sweating to death if that were to happen. So we feel like for a lot of reasons, it was just really made everybody in the family feel much better and made our life a whole lot more convenient. And so our number 3 is the RV Lock keyless entry system.
So the number 2 upgrade is my personal favorite, and one Jay and I completely disagreed about having, but now both of us love it. So it is the Frizz Life under the counter triple phase water filtration system that also has an on-demand in-counter faucet. It is awesome. So we already had the Camco EVO filtration system that came in from the spigot outside of the campground into the camper. So the water was traditionally already filtered, but I wanted one more stage just as a safeguard. Jay did not think that that was necessary at all, so we just picked up at the local Walmart just an on-the-counter pitcher style water filtration. It took forever. It was the one thing that when hot and sweaty kids were running in and trying to get cups of water, they sat most of the time waiting for the water to filter. And so my friend Christy Cutler from Chief Wild Crew on Instagram, you should follow her, she's awesome. She did some research while we were sheltered in place together in North Alabama, and she found this Frizz Life water filtration system, and it is wonderful. And so for us, this has been one of the top upgrades because we can have peace of mind knowing that we have great, clean, filtered water. Also, it's ready anytime we want it, and that is wonderful. And not only that, we use it for our ice maker as well, so that we have clean tasting, filtered water for our ice maker as well.
Alright, so our number one upgrade, the thing that has made the biggest difference for our big family, is right here in the bathroom. And yes, before you ask, I'm sitting on the toilet. And no, the toilet is not our number one upgrade. Our camper already had one of those. Our number one upgrade, beyond a doubt, is our on-demand tankless hot water heater. We got a Girard on-demand tankless hot water heater. We actually didn't get it at first. We had a 10-gallon hot water tank in here, and so we thought, okay, we're going to try this right at the beginning. Military showers, kids in and out, being real, hey, you're taking too long. And that was just miserable. It was miserable for everybody. It was miserable for me and for Mom trying to make that happen. So we said, you know what? We are not doing that anymore. And so this was actually the very first upgrade that we bought after we went camping the first time. Obviously, the hot water heater itself is underneath the camper, and I did that myself, put that in. It really was not that hard. But the thing that really made another big difference is where we mounted the controls. If you're not familiar with tankless hot water heaters, they are a little bit different than a traditional hot water heater. So with the traditional hot water heater, it heats all of the water in that 10-gallon tank to a certain temperature, and then it stops. And so all the hot water coming out is that one temperature. And so to get the temperature that you want in the shower at the faucet, you mix at the faucet some hot and some cold. So you turn on a little bit of hot and a little bit more cold, and it gives you the temperature you want. A tankless hot water heater on demand does not work that same way. You actually go over and you set the temperature that you want right here at the controls, and then you turn on only the hot water, and so you get the full pressure from everything that the RV campground has to give you, and it comes out at the exact temperature that you want. It's amazing. And so the kit actually came with a pretty short cable to mount this right beside the hot water heater, but I knew that we needed it right here by the shower because that's when it's going to get its most changes from our family. And so it actually tells you in the kit what gauge wire to buy. So I went and bought some extra wire, ran it up through the basement into the wall and up into the wall and mounted it right here. And so now every one of our kids, actually everybody in our family, knows their number. Francis's is 108, mine's 101, Joseph's is 103. Everybody's got their number, and so they come in, boop, 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 they set it right to what they want, and then we get as long of a hot shower at exactly the temperature we want as we want. And so we don't have to stay on the kids. We don't have to be constantly thinking about who's going to be last. Because when we came in at the night, we let the kids go first, and then me and Francis went. So we're always, it's like roulette. Who's going to run out of water when? Not anymore. We don't have to worry about it. And that has been, hands down, one of the things that has made nighttime bath routine the least stressful on us. It's just great. Coming from a long day of hiking, you don't have to worry about, are you going to run out of water? Hey, I know I'm going to get a shower at exactly the temperature I want, for as long as I want, whenever I want to take it, and we don't have to worry. And so hands down, really I would say for anybody, but especially if you're a family or a big family, this one is a must, and that's why it is hands down our #1 upgrade.
So those are our top 5 upgrades and gadgets that we have found really helpful for a large family.
And one of the big things we want to note about this is all of them are things that we did ourselves. These are all DIY. Obviously the hot water heater was the most complicated, but it still took me less than half a day to do. It really was not bad. Everything else was, really no big deal. The locks, the curtains. So even the in-counter filtration system, none of that was a major deal. And so I would encourage you to, try to do it yourself. It's really not a big deal. It's really not overwhelming when you get it and break it down. So that's the first thing I would say is make sure you try to do these yourself. They're not that complicated.
Right, and that saves you some money too and a little bit of hassle. And also I would say a tip that I would encourage you to do is to live in your space for a little while. Don't try to do everything all at once because there may be things that don't work for your family. We have seen so many videos, we have read so many threads on Facebook, and we have really seen many things that really wouldn't have been a fit for our family. And so live in your space for a little while. We didn't buy any of these first. We took our time. We tried to see what worked with the rhythm of our family, the needs of our family before, because you can spend a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of stress trying to outfit your rig exactly like everybody else thinks that you should. But what's the most important is, what do you think that you need? What are your priorities and what are the needs of your family and your rig? And I would encourage you, the only way to know that is just to spend some time in it. Take your time, and that will save you money, it will save you time, and it'll save you just a headache of putting something in that you wish you really hadn't done.
Unless it's the tankless hot water heater, go out and do that one right now. That one you don't have to think about. We can promise you on that one.
Absolutely.
So until next time, go out and have some crazy fun with your family.
Bye, you guys. If you liked any of these products that you saw today or want to know more information about them, make sure you check the description box, because we're going to include everything you saw in the video there.
And if you found this video helpful, you can give us a like, a big thumbs up. That helps us. You can also subscribe and follow our family's adventure all over the country as we travel around full time in this RV with all of these upgrades. And if you want to see the tour of the full RV and all the renovations that we did to it, then you can click on that video right there. We hope to see you next time.
Bye, guys.